Big Ange is looking to be busy in the transfer market again. He's looking to sign ALISTAIR Johnston, man. And I'm from Canada. Welcome back, guys, to Fog Football. Big Ange is put down the hamburger. He's picked up the scouting binoculars. And he is trying to sign a new right back for Celtic FC. And that right back is ALISTAIR Johnston. You might be thinking, who the hell is ALISTAIR Johnston? I've never heard him. Well, and that's exactly the same thing I was thinking as well. I've never heard him. Now, he doesn't play in the UK. He doesn't play in Europe. He plays across the pond. He's a Canadian playing in America. He plays for MLS side CF Montreal. It's a bit of a fucking mix-up again. You've got a Canadian side playing in America. It feels weird to me, but I guess it's no different than Wrexham or Cardiff or Swansea playing in the English league. But for me, I don't like it. I don't like how a team from another country can play, you know, in a different league, a different nation. It makes no sense to me. I know the old firm for ages have wanted to break away to the English Premiership, but I hope that never happens. But anyway, I'm not going to here to talk about different nations, different countries. Screw that shit. We're here to talk about big signings, and I think that's what this ALISTAIR Johnston guy would be. Now, I know a lot of people are thinking, well, how good can he be? He plays in the MLS. He's Canadian, after all. But I think we need to start giving America, start giving Canada some respect. Now, I totally admit, like 10, 15 years ago, the prospect of signing a Yank or a Canadian player wouldn't have been that appealing. In fact, they were probably scoffed at it if you were a Celtic fan. Because back then, I mean, America, they didn't really have anybody. They had Landon Donovan, Michael Bradley, and then they had a couple of good goalkeepers. But apart from that, you know, you didn't think of America as a nation, or Canada for that matter, that produced good footballers. And to be honest, they weren't. But I do feel like over the last 10 years, I do feel like Canada and America are getting a lot better at football. You look at big nations, big leagues, and you notice they do have more Americans, they do have more Canadians playing in it. And it looks like they're just taking football more serious these days, where in the past we kind of just bashed them for, you know, playing a girly game of rugby with shoulder pads and helmets and all that stuff. But now it looks like in those countries, in America, Canada, they are beginning to treat football as a proper sport, show more interest in football, and take it more seriously. Now, we know it's never going to be the #1 game in America. I mean, football will never surpass basketball, baseball, or American football. That's not going to happen, and in Canada, it's never going to surpass hockey. But it does look like it's getting better, and that's why I don't think this ALISTAIR Johnston guy would be a bad signing. Now, I haven't seen him play, so I'm not going to sit here and say that he's good, or he's bad, or he's great, or it's a great signing, or it's a bad signing, but he does play for the Canadian national team. He is at this year's World Cup, so the fact that he can get to a World Cup, he can't be a bad player. Celtic have numerous players already at the World Cup. They've got Dyson Maida, got Juranovic, Moy. So if he's anywhere near that kind of level, he would be a good player. He would be a good addition. Plus, like I said, he plays in the MLS, which is the top flight of the American football. So, again, it's not like he's playing at a lower level. It's not like he's in the lower divisions. He definitely seems a capable player. Now, if we look at his last 2 seasons before this year, he played for Nashville SC, 2020 and 2021. Made 18 appearances in his first year in the league, then followed by 26 in his second. Combined, over those 2 years, he made 49 appearances, also contributing 1 goal, which when you're a right back, you don't have to contribute goals, but if you can contribute goals, then great. No one's going to complain. No one's going to go, oh, there's that right back scoring goals, he shouldn't be scoring. Fuck no. It doesn't matter what position you play, right? If you've got a goal in you, that's a good thing, not a bad thing. Then he got his move to CF Montreal this year. Now, I believe the American League, it starts at a different time from us, so I think in America, they've pretty much almost finished their season, or they could have finished it by now. I'm not too sure, but he has made 33 league appearances for CF Montreal with 4 goals, which is not bad. 4 goals for a right back in 33 games. You can't really complain about that. That's a decent return, in my opinion. Now, for international level, he's only been in the national team for the last 2 years, but in those 2 years, he has made 31 appearances for Canada, including 1 goal, which came against Cayman Islands in a World Cup qualifier. Probably not not a goal to brag about coming against Cayman Islands. I mean, fuck me, it was 11-0 Canada won that game, so obviously they were the better team. Obviously, ALISTAIR Johnston, was more likely to score in that game than he might be in others, but he's scored goals, he's proven that. He's played a lot of games over the past couple of seasons for club and country, so it's definitely safe to assume that he's a decent player. And the fact he's only 24 means that he's not even hit his prime yet. Celtic are getting a promising player here who is undoubtedly only going to improve on his current level. Now, it's not going to be plain sailing. They're not just going to walk in, sign a contract and get the player. There is other clubs interested, including Bologna from Italy in Serie A. We all know Bologna are a decent side, just signed Lewis Ferguson this season, and if Bologna are looking for a player, then he must be decent, he must be capable. However, it appears Celtic is his preferred destination, plus he already holds a UK passport, so it means a move to Celtic is more likely and is an easier move to make happen than it is to Bologna. So I think that he will join Celtic. I think he'll choose Celtic over Bologna. But the big question is he any good? Is he worth Celtic signing? I've got two reasons why I would give him the benefit of the doubt. If I was a Celtic fan, I have two reasons why I'd be optimistic. The first reason is Bologna are interested in him, and Bologna don't sign crap players. If Bologna want this guy, then it shows you the kind of level he's at. He's at a Serie A level. And Celtic, I don't think, are in a position where they can just not bother, not be interested in signing 24-year-olds that are at a Serie A level. And secondly, Big Ange wants him in the team, and that tells me a lot about the level, the ability, the potential, and the credentials of the man. Because so far, Big Ange has yet to make a bad signing for Celtic. Yes, there's been some that have been underwhelming or haven't hit the ground running, likes of Bernabe and, let's say, Ideguchi, for example. But I don't think there's been a bad signing in there. So yeah, I mean, I would trust Ange's judgment. So far, his signings have been good. If they do sign ALISTAIR Johnston, I think they've got another potential good signing. But the big news for me is, why are they signing a right back? Why are they interested in adding to a position where they already have two good players? And I'll tell you why, because I believe JOSIP Juranovic will probably leave Celtic this season, whether it be in January, whether it be in the summer. It's the only reason. It doesn't make any other sense why Ange, out of all the positions, why he would choose to strengthen the right back position when they have such a highly rated and highly valued player such as Juranovic, a guy that is pretty much adored by Celtic fans, one of the favourites of the Celtic faithful. And then, of course, we've got Anthony Ralston, a guy that seems to improve, a guy that seems to get better every time we see him play in a Celtic shirt. So the fact that they are bringing, or want to bring in, another right back, the fact that Ange feels that they needs to go out and sign this Alistair McCann guy tells me that there's something's going to change, something's going to happen to his right back options, and that one of them could be leaving. Now, who knows? Maybe Juranovic is planning on staying. Maybe it's Ralston. Maybe he's not happy with the amount of game time he's getting. Maybe Ralston wants to go, but I don't believe that. I think Ralston is happy at Celtic. I think Ralston knows that probably Juranovic sooner or later will move on to a bigger club. There's been rumours over the past 6 months that Chelsea were interested in him. I heard some crazy price tag, like 50 million. I mean, that's not going to happen. But I do believe he could get a move. I mean, he's starting at the World Cup. He's playing right back for Croatia. He's got a great chance to showcase his abilities. And I mean, it wouldn't be the first time a player's had a really good World Cup or Euros, and then, he comes in and the big money moves are there for him. So I do think JOSIP Juranovic will be leaving Celtic, and I think that's why Big Ange is so interested in signing another right back. Otherwise, just doesn't make a lot of sense to me, adding a third right back when you've already got two solid ones at the club. If Juranovic and Ralston are staying there long term, then I think there would be other options, there would be other positions where Ange could strengthen rather than the right back. But yeah, that's just my opinion, guys. Let me know your opinion down below. Is this a signing you're interested in seeing? If so, let me know why. If not, also, let me know why. And I guess we'll find out in the next couple of days whether Celtic get this signing over the line. Anyway, guys, that's it. Folk football. Till next time, peace.